Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just picked up these two jet skis, not including the dog, but one is a SEADOO GTX and the other is a Yamaha XL WAVERUNNER 800. Picked these guys up for a pretty cheap price. Got them off a marketplace, so let's they don't run, they haven't ran in years, but the guy said that when he parked them they ran. He came out next season and they didn't crank up, and they've been sitting ever since, so who knows. So supposedly the guy said these things have really low hours. I couldn't get any dash or anything to turn on, so I have no idea. All right, so this is the inside of this guy, and it's definitely got some mildew on it. It's this cover is a little messed up. I got the thing that goes down in here. I took it out, but let's see what the Yamaha looks like. So this one's a little bit cleaner. Still has some water and mildew down at the bottom. But if I remember right, I think this is the same jet ski that Andrew Camerata has. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks very similar to it. Also took the thing out of here too. It's a little trunk container. Let's see if we can find a battery and hook a battery to these things, see if they'll do anything. All right, before we get too carried away, let's go ahead and give these things a wash first. I'm gonna use some of the super clean aerosol degreaser. Get some of this oil and stuff out of here. Just some of the built up oil and gunk. Let's get a new can of this stuff. I'm about empty. Alright guys, I'd say that is 100% better. These holes are pretty clean. No more oil everywhere, so that cleaned up pretty good. Take a look at this one here. This one was absolutely filthy. I don't know if you guys can see down in there, but it's a pretty good improvement there. There's all kinds of mildew and stuff everywhere. So let's throw the batteries in. We'll start with the Yamaha first and see if it does anything. Alright, so we got this never start battery, and get it installed here. This battery's a little bit too big, but it'll be alright. Alright, I got the battery hooked up, but I'm getting absolutely nothing. Got the key in, and trying to hold these buttons down, see if they do anything at all, but I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything at all. No lights, nothing on the dash. Oh, something. It says start. Okay, so you can barely see it. When I hold the mode button down, it has a start that blinks. Okay, so whenever that does it, you know, if you hold it down for a few seconds, code will come up, and then you type in the code. I got the code. Okay, and that will lock it, you know, if you want to park it or whatever for security. Hold it down again and type in the code, and it will unlock it, and it will go back to start. So now the whole display should be turned on, and when I press the start button, which I'm doing now, it should start. So like nothing else is coming up on the screen. I'm not sure. I looked in the manual, it said that right here there's a fuse that you pull out, it could be blown. So let me go ahead and take this cover off and see if the fuse is blown. Okay, so it looks like somebody got rid of the fuse and put this connector in. Probably because the fuse was blowing, so that is not a good sign. Alright, just to see if we can get anything to happen, let's go ahead and just jump the starter. I'm gonna put that to the ground there, and I'm gonna hook this straight to the battery. Nothing. Never mind. Okay, starter is good. I doubt we'll have any kind of spark, but let's just try it. No spark. Alright, got a fuse holder in there now. Not really the kind I wanted, but that's all I had. Alright guys, we are fast forward a good bit. I didn't bother recording all this because a lot of it was just troubleshooting, and didn't want to bore you guys with that too much. But let me go over what I found on this thing. So I put where we left off, I soldered in that fuse. So after that, I was jumping the solenoid to see if it would turn over and crank. It was doing that, and then, by the way, I'll show you what it does. Then the dash would come on temporarily, but yeah, it wouldn't stay on unless the engine's actually. Let me kind of, I'm not going to skip ahead here, but all right. So I checked the key switch, the kill switch. All that is good. I completely tested it, checked for continuity, traced the wire. All that is good because that's what I originally thought it was, but it's not. So what I did find, this wire right here goes to the solenoid. Basically, when you put 12 volts to this wire, it closes the solenoid, which sends power to the starter, and it will turn it over. So I sent power to that, turned over. I checked it for spark, and it's actually getting spark. And yeah, so after that I was like, hey, let me see if it will run. But before I did that, I wanted to check the oil injection lines, because I've heard that these lines, I can't really see in there, but let me see here. So the oil injection lines go to these little ports on each carburetor. And here is one line, and the other line is right here, and they just route underneath here and go to the carburetors. Those from the factory have just a measly little zip tie on them, and they pop off. This machine only has like 100 hours on it, 100 miles, 100 hours, something like that. Not a lot at all. And I happened to check down there, and both lines were completely popped off, and the oil was actually just kind of going in the hole here. The guy said he thinks he pre-mixed this one, but I don't think he did. I think it was that one, because that one, the oil injection's blocked off. So I pretty much thought that the engine was ruined on here. I did a compression test on it, and one cylinder is getting 90 psi, the other one's getting 120 psi. So I don't know if that's good. I think it's a little low, but anyway, let me kind of show you guys what it's doing. I don't want to run it long because it's out of the water. I don't want to burn the pump up or anything, but let's just crank it up real quick and I'll show you what it's doing. I also did a test on the dash to make sure that it worked. All you do is unclip this wire, and then you hold mode and A and C down at the same time for 5 seconds. And then you get this weird testing on the screen here. Goes through all of it. So the dash seems to be working as far as the test goes. Like everything's showing up on it, it's just not turning on. Right now the dash should be, I'm just going to turn this off. So right now this switch is actually in the on position. This lanyard right here, the key thing, it basically just makes this part go up here, and right now the dash should be turned on and it's not. So when the engine cranks up, this dash turns on for some reason. Alright, so I'm going to jump power to the wire here, the yellow wire on the solenoid. I'm going to go ahead and try and crank it up. It's definitely going to need some carburetor work on it, but let me show you the dash. See how the dash is, it's actually on, it'll stay on when it's running, but after it cuts off, the engine cuts off, it stays on for like 10 seconds, and then the dash will cut off. So it should cut off here in just a second. On for a minute, but and there it goes, it just cut off. So I'm not sure what's going on with this thing. It could be something in the starter circuit, maybe. I don't know. So I did put some premix in the gas, but I'm gonna go ahead and hook these oil lines back up. It's pumping some oil, but like very, very little bit, and I just don't trust that. Why is that sucker so tight? In there. Yep, definitely Loctite. These bolts ain't never been out. Oh man. I'll break these things. There it went. Now I like Yamaha stuff, but they Loctited the living hell out of this engine. But then they put these little crappy zip ties on these oil lines that are like the most important part of this engine. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get certain things. I think we are free. Alright, this is the exhaust. Water temperature sensor, I believe, was what went in there. A little bit of carbon, but not horrible. I believe the water jacket goes around here, or maybe not. Got a bunch of crap just dripping out of there, and that's water and two-stroke oil or gas. Alright, time to get these carbs off. So these were the oil lines I was talking about. I did put new ones on, but they're just zip tied on. I gotta get some better clamps for them, but that's how they were, and they were both popped off. See, all these other things are zip tied. Alright, let's get these things off and clean them up. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of oil on the tops of these carburetors, which isn't good, because that means it was ran with the lines off of the carbs. So hopefully the cylinders aren't trashed. I'm tempted to take this head off to check, but I mean, it's never been off before, and I really don't want to take it off. So I'm gonna clean these carbs first, see how it runs, see how it smokes, and check the compression again. We'll go from there. Get some of this gas drained out of here. This little thing, I don't know if it's gonna work or not. Yeah, that fuel don't look too well. You know, I did put some fresh stuff in there. Get all that drained out. That little hose pump thing worked pretty good. It filled this can up in no time. Goodness, look at the color of that gas. Wow, I don't even, it almost looks like some off-road diesel or something. Yeah, this is our diaphragm. Really, I don't see anything wrong with it. Alright, so I think I found the culprit. You can see down there, there's a bunch of like ethanol varnish. And look what it's done to the diaphragm. There's a little bit up there too. Alright, so I picked up these genuine carburetor rebuild kits from Mikuni. They come with this diagram that is pretty helpful. Tells you how it goes back. So let's get all these changed out with some new gaskets, and yeah. Okay, so I got the carburetors back together, and now I'm replacing this oil line, and this is the most important part of this system, because these lines will pop off, and before they have this line turns hard and brittle and it pops off, and that is what happened to this jet ski. So I'm replacing it with these Tygon fuel lines, like for little small engines and stuff. And don't forget your check valves, they have an arrow on them. Have that so the oil doesn't flow back. So still gotta replace that one. Okay, I got the carb and most of the lines hooked up. I gotta hook the oil lines up, but first, before I do that, I want to prime the lines. In order to do that, I'm going to take the oil pump off, hook a drill to it so I can get these lines primed. Alright, so I just put some fuel hose on the pump here. Stick, I'm going to hook it up to my drill in reverse. With the throttle wide open. You can see the oil is starting to already flow. Alright, everything's flowing good. Let's remove that. And hook the oil pump back up. Okay, got the oil pump hooked back up. Alright, carbs are on, oil lines are ran. Let's go ahead and start getting the exhaust put back on and try and get it cranked up. Okay, I think I got the fuel system primed pretty good. Let's go ahead and see if this thing will crank up. I think I need to adjust the idle just a hair. But cranked up. The thing is, the dash, it's still not cranking with the button like it should. The dash like actually works for just a little bit, and then it stops working. I don't understand that still. I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing in the water and see if we can drive it around a little bit. Alright, so I did get it running. I gotta adjust the idle. I do think it might be running a hair lean, and I mean, I'm not sure about that, but man, when this power band kicks in, this thing flies. It's still not cranking like it's supposed to with the start button, but the dash, if I hit the solenoid and start it that way, it starts up and the dash turns on, but then it cuts off, you know, once the engine cuts off. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe you guys can let me know. But I'm still gonna do a little bit of tuning on it, and I mean, it runs pretty good. It's just if I let off the gas, it will cut off, and I just think the idle just needs to be adjusted, because right now I think I messed with it when I rebuilt the carbs. So main thing with this one is the guy lost the key. However, I did have JetWorks in Seal, Alabama make me a new key, so shout out to them. And it seems to be working, but the switch here, it's kind of working every now and then. I don't know if it's in the switch or if it's something with the starter itself. I did spray a little ether, and I did get it to pop off like one time, but that's about it. So let's start digging into this thing. So this thing's definitely been worked on before. See, this throttle cable's all loose. So is this one. That dog sure loves barking across the lake. So I got these carbs off, and I don't know why, but tons of stuff is just loose and not even put together. So I'm sure that's why it wasn't wanting to run. There is some corrosion around here. This is I believe the fuel pump diaphragm. So yeah, let's get all this cleaned up and get it put back on. Alrighty, let's get some of these lines cut off here. Take a look at this one first. Kind of curious to see why this one's still open. Well, it doesn't look bad. It almost looks like a brand new rebuild kit. I think the float was stuck in here. See what this other one looks like real quick. This diaphragm's a little warped. Alright, let's see about getting these carbs hooked back up. And see the previous owner where they blocked off the oil injection. I'm guessing this went to that, and also this line here. So we'll have to pre-mix the fuel. No big deal. Let's get it hooked back up though. Alrighty, got the carbs put back on. Gotta get the spark plugs put back in. I was trying to turn it over. I think the switch is bad, so I went ahead and got this opened up, and I'm just gonna touch these two wires together here and see if that cranks it up. So let's get these plugs put back in and we'll try and start for the first time. Alright guys, here goes nothing. Wow, that thing cranked right up. Alright, let's try that again. Didn't stay running though. That's with the choke on. Alright, let's get this thing put back together and maybe we can take it for a ride. Don't want to run it too long, but seems like it's running decent. Let's get it put back together. Alright guys, here goes nothing. I don't know what this thing's gonna do, but let's see if we can crank this thing up. It started. pretty decent. Alright guys, well I think this one's fixed. I do notice this, I think it has a little bit of cavitation, so the wearing might need to be replaced on it. I could tell that the RPMs are getting a little bit higher than it should, and so I'm thinking that's the wear ring. I actually do have a brand new wear ring for this machine, so maybe I'll put that in, but it seems to be running pretty good. I might need to turn the idle up just a hair, but other than that, I mean, it's got good power and everything. So all right, we'll check this one off the list. Alright guys, so I can't believe it, but I got this dash working, and it's very simple. So it's working now like it's supposed to. Hit the start button and the dash comes on. See, now that dash is working like it should, and the start button's working. So see, 102 hours on this machine. So yeah, everything's working like it should. Now this was very simple to do, and I've learned this. There's a channel called Shade Tree JETSKI, kind of a small channel, but if you want, you can go ahead and check his channel out. But he had the similar problem with his dash not working, and I learned that if you take your wire from your key switch up here, which I believe is, I think it's this one. These two are supposed to be plugged together right here. If you unplug this one and basically swap them and plug them together like this, that bypasses the it's some kind of lock that goes bad in the dash itself, and it basically bypasses that. So that has been super helpful now, and it works like it should. You still have the old, you know, you got to type in the code and everything if you want to lock it or unlock it, but that is awesome. So press the button, it's working like it should. But anyway, I think this is going to be it for this video. So I got them both running, you know, that's basically what I wanted to do. I might make a part 2 if there's enough interest. I don't know, probably not, but anyway, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one. Later.